My name is Brian Carter, and I will be talking to you today about differentiated literacy instruction. Some of the topics that we will cover are what exactly is differentiated instruction, two different research-based strategies we can use differentiated instruction for, how it affects these subgroups of students that are above grade level, below grade level, English language learners, or are unmotivated students, and how differentiation promotes student flourishing. So to start, what is differentiated instruction? I think Carol Ann Tomlinson gives a great definition in saying differentiation means tailoring instruction to meet individual needs, whether teachers differentiate content, process, products, or the learning environment. The use of ongoing assessment and flexible grouping makes this a successful approach to instruction. This means for our students who are above grade level, we're going to challenge them with a little bit more advanced work. For our students who are English language learners or students who are below grade level, we're going to try and make sure they find their way in their least restrictive environment to really facilitate learning. And our students who are unmotivated, this means using our power as educators to adjust a lesson or structure and give them interest in what they are learning. So, what is human flourishing? Human flourishing is both the optimal continuing development of human beings' potentials and living well as a human being. This means in education, allowing our students the opportunity to be the best versions of themselves. This will not be consistent from student to student, but we have to make sure we get that out of them. Flourishing is conditional on the contribution of individuals and requires an enabling environment. That is what we bring into our classroom. So let's talk about a couple of these research-based strategies. The first one we're going to talk about is centered more towards a kindergarten classroom. This is phonics blending. Phonics blending is oftentimes called sounding out. It can also be called visual blending or synthetic phonics. This will eventually lead to reading syllables and longer words. So if you look at the image on the right, we can see we're talking about arm blending, where if we had a word like hat, we would start at the shoulder where we would make the H sound. At the elbow, we would make the ah sound or a. And at the wrist, we would make the t sound. We would then sound those out by touching that specific point on our arm. Ah, t. And then in order to blend that word together, we would go in a fluid motion from shoulder down to wrist, putting those sounds together. Ah, t, hat. So how can we differentiate this for our different subgroups of students? For students who are above grade level, this could be done by adding diagraphs to words to make it more complex and applying their verbal blending to writing on a whiteboard, taking that visual or mental audio learning right to the board where they're going to be making their words together. For students who are below grade level, this can be done through repeated practice of same sounds to get more familiar and closer to that mastery target. We could also utilize small groups for extra instruction while doing the blending. Next, for our students who are English language learners, we could add a picture while blending. So if we are still talking about that hat example, we could use a cue card showing that visual representation for that student who is not a traditional language speaker. For our unmotivated students, we've got to make it fun. This could be done while doing the blending using something like a Hot Wheel or another type of car and rolling it from the shoulder down to the wrist. We could also smash Play-Doh. And as we make each individual sound, we make a smash. And same thing with the poppers. For each sound they make, that allows for hands-on learning and gets the kids interested. The next strategy we're going to talk about is reading comprehension choices. And this is just when we go through a story, allowing the students a choice in how they're going to show their mastery. So some of those examples would be who are students who are above grade level will be acting out a theme or trend from the story. This will allow the students to show a higher level of mastery by performing in a different manner. For students who are below grade level, we could use sequencing, putting a timeline of events together from that story. And then for our English language learners, again, we're going to go back to that visual representation. We're going to allow them to draw a picture from the story. That could be a character, a plot line, or even a key event from that story. And then our students who are unmotivated, we're going to give the students an option to choose from the variety of mastery techniques. Unmotivated students like to feel as though they have a choice in their learning. Students who like to move around more may choose a more kinesthetic task. So our takeaways from the day are what exactly differentiated learning is, understanding human flourishing and recognizing it's what we're already doing as educators, that we are giving the students their best opportunity for success to be the best versions of themselves they could possibly be. And then finally, how to differentiate two strategies from our four set of groups.